along the banks of Manassas Creek, across the fields of Gettysburg. The battles rage on to this very day, fighting for causes of long ago. Ghosts of the past seem to fight on still, in battles that will not change. Some still feel pain, some still hope to change the victory the North would claim. In the dawn you can hear cannons roar, those bullets screaming as they fly. Hear horses' hoofs pounding turf far below,
and the shuffling feet of the men marching by.
Let me explain a little bit about what Diggin in Virginia is all about. It's an organized event. What happens is the organizers actually lease property that is known Civil War areas where relic hunting has not been allowed in the past. This doesn't mean that somebody unscrupulous has not stuck onto the property. Generally, somebody along the way has figured out a way to get onto it, and shame on them. But the property owners diligently patrol the property. There are artifacts on the property that is leased, and the participants actually pay a fee, and this fee goes towards leasing the property from the property owner. And the people up here in Virginia in general are quite happy with this, the farmers that lease the property. It allows them some extra income to help pay taxes if nothing else, and it allows relic hunters a place to go where they're welcome, where they preserve history, and where they have a good time. And that's what Digging in Virginia is all about. There are other organized hunts out there, and I'm not trying to slight any of them, but by far it seems like Diggin' Virginia has been the most successful hunt for at least the past 10 years. They have anywhere from 2 to 4 events a year. You can find out more about them by reading American Digger magazine or going to mytreasurespot.com. There will be an article in American Digger if you're seeing this later. Of course, it's already been printed, but it will be in the July-August edition. And be sure and pick up that issue. It's chock full of good stuff, incredible finds, and you will see photographs of the finds at this hunt. Now we're at day 1 at Digging in Virginia. Little place near Brandy Station, and I want to zoom in here a little bit if I can, and maybe I can't. Anyway, out there in the distance, that is actually George Lesh, who makes Predator tools, and George is using a GPS system, or actually GPR, excuse me, and he's looking for huts with that. Now, not many in the amateur hobby have access to one of these, but George does, and he's a very popular fellow at Diggin' in Virginia because he can find the hut sites with this. And while we're looking at him, let's swing around here. We're going to check out another fellow here who's actually digging a hut, and don't know if he's got anything yet. I'm going to do a panoramic here. This is all a big camp. This was part of a battle, but mainly a camp. You see a lot of people out here. This is just day 1. I've already got a bullet, a few odds and ends in my pouch, and we'll see where it goes from here. Okay, I'm standing here with the copy editor of American Digger magazine, Mr. John Velke. And John, you said you dug some kind of button. What'd you get?
I got a nice little Rhode Island tough button up here at the top of this hill.
Oh, cool. It's got the shank on it, and any gilt or...
Well, I think it might have some gilt on it. I didn't clean it up yet. But
well, that's neat. At least we know there are Rhode Island troops up here. And you saw a killer find today. What, the ID badge that was dug?
A silver engraved ID shield. Guy's first name was John. I couldn't make out his last name.
We'll find out at the end of the hunt.
It's a cavalry regiment.
That's cool, and like I say, we'll have a picture of that definitely in the guess it's the July-August issue. This will be in 2013. I'm still sitting here digging bullets, and one button and the most poncho grommets I've ever dug in my life, I think. Okay, this is a closer look at that Rhode Island button that John Velke dug. Sweet button. That anchor just jumps out of there, and I've got a nice back on it too. Alright, I just dug a pretty deep signal here. I don't know if you can see how deep it is. Down about to my wrist. So what's that, about 10 inches, 8 inches. And what it is appears to be a button. I think it's a staff officer button. We're going to tell here in just a moment. It's going to be very delicate. These are 3-piece buttons. And let's hope this one doesn't come apart on the camera. You can see the rim is actually separating. Could be a New York button, it's hard to tell. Anyway, it is what it is.
Okay, I'm talking with George Lesh out here in the field, and I'm getting a battery warning light, so I hope this is working, George. But you were using the ground penetrating radar out here. What did you find out?
Well, the huts in here are not deep at all. Most of them are right there in the plow line. At the very deepest I've seen anybody find anything was about 2 foot. And that was in a trash pit. The reason the gentleman found it, I believe, is that there was a frying pan in the trash pit, and the frying pan is what he hit.
Wow. But you said with the GPR, all the huts were shallow, right?
Very shallow.
Okay.
In this type of terrain, I wouldn't recommend it because most of your artifacts of any size are going to be right at the base of the plow line. And it's very, very hard to distinguish between a target and a rock. Like if you had a bottle pit, you would definitely be able to see it below the plow line if it's there. But the question is finding it. You're only covering 14 inches at a time. Every swipe is only 14 inches. You're going down about 7 feet. But there's a number of, if you're looking for rocks, believe me, it'll find it. Not a rock.
They will find rocks.
Yeah,
well, I tell you, to dig out stuff like that, I can't think of a better tool than the business you're in. That's Predator tools. You make and design them. And I'm going to speak from experience. That's the most awesome tools I've ever seen. So
I appreciate it.
Have you got any new ones out on the market, or what's selling good now?
The hottest thing going right now is the Piranha and the Raven. And you'll see countless piranhas out here in the field, and ravens, and also the big red.
Yeah, I was looking at that. That is a good hut digging tool there.
That's the heavy artillery of relic hunting. If you want,
stand beside that thing, George. Let's show us how big that thing is.
If you want something to cut through the earth, this is what's going to do it.
It will do it. It is definitely good.
The latest version we have is serrated on both sides, and it is phenomenal for cutting roots.
Wonderful. And you're online at predatortools.com.
Yep.
Okay. And I strongly recommend George's tools, folks. Go over there and get some of them, and tell them that American Digger sent you over there. But George's out here. We're all going to try to dig some relics, and he works hard. And I tell you, you're one of the most generous people I've ever seen, because you actually find hut sites and then let other people dig them out. So it don't get better than that. Just some of the generosity and good people here at the Diggin In Virginia hunt.
Okay, I'm talking with Lee, what is that, Slater? Lee Slater, right? Talking with Lee Slater, and we're looking at some of the buttons he just dug out of this pit. There's a lot of New York buttons, an eagle eye button, knapsack hook, and it was a great pit. Had a lot of bricks in it, didn't it?
Sure it did.
Wow.
A lot of bricks. A lot of
And,
wrapped up
and then, to show it takes all kinds at these hunts, this is streaking. I'm not sure what he's doing to my pockets, but it can't be good.
Food. I know you got food on you.
Oh, you up there? You can sniff a pit out, can't you? We've got Brent Smith here digging a hut side, I believe. Look at the bones. Guys, we're eating some big kale. Have you hit the bottom yet?
I don't think so.
Wow. Some of the stuff he's already got here. A nice inkwell. A few buttons. Looks like a tippy buckle. And still going. That's a good 4 feet down, isn't it?
Can't really go.
Heck yeah.
Those lines of faded men in gray and blue, campfires burning through the night. That old harmonica that now lies underground still sounds so sweet on his ghostly flight. He does not know just how long it's been. He plays on still as time goes by. Can't understand why his blood runs cold. Does not know when or how he died. In the night they seem to see here and now. They know the present from the past, reaching out to those of us who can see, looking for a way to find their peace at last.